Hey, I'm Mac. Welcome back to my channel. So today we need to talk about Logan Paul. That's a sentence I never thought I would say on my channel. So in case you are not aware of who Logan Paul is a very successful YouTuber, cryptocurrency scammer, professional wrestler, and generally irredeemable piece of shit who rose to prominence on the video sharing social media app Vine. And like many Vine creators, he used that following to launch a YouTube channel, which was inexplicably and depressingly extremely successful, having 150,000 subscribers in 2014 already and growing to 23 million today. Generally, his content consists of vlogs of his terrible opinions, his shitty behavior, and supposedly funny antics. In 2017, he visited Aokigahara Jukai Forest in Japan, which is infamous for being a place that many people go to take their own lives. Upon finding the body of a man who had hung himself, Logan, I'm 5 years his senior, so I'm going to call him Logan to emphasize my moral superiority by talking down about him like he's a child, did what any reasonable and moral person would do, filmed it and uploaded it to his channel. This drew an absolute firestorm of backlash, and he would later express what I will grant to be very sincere and very intense remorse that did merit forgiveness. Forgiveness is not the same as forgetfulness, nor does it entail ceasing to use the event as a signal of someone's moral character, a distinction that many seem to not make, but I most certainly do. He also frequently brings up that sequence of events when trying to provide evidence of his good character, which is absolutely bizarre to me. You know, it's great that you felt bad and realized that what you did was wrong, but it's still an inferior position to never having done it in the first place. Like it doesn't make you better. At best, it brings you back to equal. Okay, it's a very strange thing he frequently does, and it kind of starts to make you think maybe he doesn't actually get it after all. So this past week, on June 27th of 2024, Logan filed a lawsuit against Coffeezilla, a YouTuber who primarily creates content about scams that he investigates and researches heavily, particularly scams being perpetrated by the self-help industry or social media influencers. His style tends to be very caustic and contemptuous, which, I mean, I obviously love. He's not bad to look at either. Although I did not know until looking at the documents for this lawsuit that Coffeezilla's name is Steven. 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 Why won't you call me? Steven, why won't you call me? Who knows what song I'm singing? Drop it in the comments. And I watched your ugly girlfriend sneer across the room as if I really care that she's here with you. The lawsuit comes in response to several videos that Coffeezilla published exposing Logan's September 21 crypto NFT game scam. I mean, Steven published. And no, I'm not worried about getting sued, okay? Try it and collect on that judgment. This time, baby, I'll be judgment proof. Good Lord. Let's go through the timeline of this, okay? A significant source of this information is a Time magazine article, which is linked in the description. It's a good one. It's a nice little timeline. I love me a good timeline. Why won't you call me Steven? God, let's hope Coffeezilla never sees this, or if he does, that he knows that song. In June of 2021, Logan encouraged his followers to purchase a meme coin called Dink Doink, but he did not disclose that he had in fact helped to create the meme coin and also owned significant volumes of it. Time magazine commissioned analytics company MyChargeback to research the blockchain and determine the level of involvement by Logan in the meme coin. MyChargeback identified a wallet that had bought over 120 trillion DINK tokens just a few minutes after the token was created and long before Logan announced it to the public. In July of 2021, that same wallet started selling off those tokens in exchange for more stable cryptocurrencies. And then in August of 2021, that same wallet began sending large amounts of coins to services known as mixers or tumblers, which are used to obfuscate transactions of cryptocurrency by dividing them up and routing them through a bunch of other wallet addresses to make it difficult to determine where the coins came from or went to. And that's a very important precaution to take if you're engaging in activities that are illegal or that you, for whatever reason, do not want other parties to find out about. Because that's the thing with cryptocurrencies, is the blockchain is publicly available for anyone to view. So anyone can see any transaction. So it's essentially money laundering, but with cryptocurrency. However, not all the transactions from this wallet went through mixers or tumblers. In fact, on one occasion, that same wallet sent 36.5 Ether, which is another relatively stable cryptocurrency, at least when compared to other cryptocurrencies, worth approximately $100,000 directly to Logan Paul's public wallet account. That's suspicious. That's weird. But we're still not done with August, because that same wallet we've been talking about would also receive 95 billion Zoo tokens before the end of the month. What's Zoo token, you ask? Well, it's his little crypto game scam that we're going to be talking about. It's called Crypto Zoo, okay? We'll have more details on it coming up, okay? Which is interesting, considering that Crypto Zoo would not launch until September 3rd of 2021, when 10,000 base eggs
Completely ready.
Ran out of eggs. Would you like to buy an 80-pack of eggs?
were made available for purchase and sold out immediately, with many buyers spending amounts in the thousands of dollars for them. In October of 2021, the upstanding titan of morality and trustworthiness, Logan Paul, would tell his fellow trash heap, Forbes magazine, that, quote, "This could be one of the biggest things I do," and went on to say that kids are going to care about the blockchain because of my project. Imagine if your first experience on the blockchain is with Crypto Zoo. A statement so consummately flagitious that you almost admire the honesty of it. Then, after his followers had spent thousands of dollars on Zoo tokens, the game was repeatedly delayed, which is where, in this narrative, I realized that these people had bought these 10,000 NFT eggs without the game even existing first. It sure is convenient that the NFT purchasing part was ready to go before the game, which I'm sure would have been such a fun gameplay experience that this scheme people dumped thousands of dollars into would no longer be considered a scam. Sure, thousands of dollars is a normal price to pay for a web game. After months of radio silence to his followers who had bought into Crypto Zoo, Logan Paul told Time magazine in August of 2022 that his investment with Crypto Zoo, which was, according to him, just, a few months earlier, quote, the biggest thing he'll ever do, was in fact, quote, super minimal. And instead he was focusing on shilling his next crypto scam called 99 Originals. In December of 2022, Coffeezilla released a 3-part series exposing the Crypto Zoo scam, the internal drama and infighting within it, and featuring the stories of some of the individuals who had lost thousands of dollars on it. This is where true massive backlash against the project began, and in February of 2023, a class action lawsuit was filed by some of the victims of the scam, in addition to numerous individual demands for arbitration by victims who were prohibited by the Crypto Zoo terms of service from suing. Which mostly brings us up to speed. So now let's take a look at this lawsuit filing, because it is fascinating. And yes, I will be directly reading some passages from it because the legal tone and wording is what makes them funny, okay? I don't make the rules, okay? Let's go! All right, this lawsuit is great. It's great. First of all, The opening part, okay, they introduce it by describing plaintiff Logan Paul, a globally recognized entertainer, athlete, and entrepreneur, brings this defamation action against Coffeezilla. I mean, it says his full name here, but we're not going to get into that. Coffeezilla, a self-described investigative journalist and quote-unquote internet detective with no actual journalism training or a private investigator's license, to hold him accountable for maliciously and repeatedly publishing false statements accusing Paul of operating a scam in connection with a troubled blockchain project called CryptoZoo. I mean, this seems a little unfair, or let's make this balanced, okay? Plaintiff Logan Paul, a self-described, globally recognized entertainer. I mean, that would have been better. I would have gone for that one. I mean, because who else describes him like that? Nobody. So basically, he's alleging that Coffeezilla's 3-part video series about CryptoZoo, the stupid NFT game, he's alleging that those videos were false and that Coffeezilla knew that they were false. And it seems to hinge around the fact that Coffeezilla says that it's Logan Paul's scam, like it says, like possessive, you know, like that it is his scam and that he did it or whatever, and that he's responsible for it. And Logan Paul says like, no, I wasn't. So let's get into the details here. Let's get into the weeds, baby. I got some dandelions. I don't know. It's great. Hearing an NFT game described in legal terms, I love it. In early 2021, Paul conceived of CryptoZoo from an animal fusion concept he had seen go viral in other contexts. CryptoZoo was to be a game utilizing blockchain technology in which players would be able to purchase egg.
You're supposed to put as many eggs as you can in its mouth, but when you do it, look, watch what it does.
Eggs, you win.
Oh, it's working now.
Non-fungible tokens, or NFTs, that would then hatch into animal NFTs. Players would then be able to breed those animals to create unique and ever rarer hybrid animals.
Got a bush? What the hell?
Which would earn players an in-game cryptocurrency called Zoo tokens based on their rarity. All of this activity would be carried out in a virtual ecosystem where animals could continue to be bred, traded, and used for many arcade games or sold for even more Zoo tokens. Oh. Okay, I thought it was a scam. My bad, my mistake. Like, I'm so sorry. Here's the thing with this shit. Like, it's the oldest scam structure. It's the oldest one in the book, okay? It's the chain of bigger fools, where you're buying this thing and you're hoping that you can sell it off to a fool that's an even bigger fool than you. Right? You know, one of my goals with this channel is to equip more people with a sort of generalized resistance to bullshit that scammers or other dishonest actors frequently spew. Okay? I want people to feel confident in dismissing something when it violates the basic fundamentals of human nature or of the world as it exists. You know, there are things that cannot just be hand waved away, and that you should always feel confident dismissing when you know that that is just not how people act, or that's just not what people are motivated by. You're right. Don't question yourself. You know, for something to have monetary value, there has to be a set of people. There has to be people who want to buy the thing for reasons other than hoping to resell it later. If it's fine if some people are buying it because they want to resell it later, but if there are only people buying something because they want to resell it later, that is a red flag. That is going to collapse. It will always collapse at some point, because that is a bubble. It's the oldest scam in the book. That's why that's MLMs. That's this here with the NFTs. It's all those meme coins. It is unstable and it is not sustainable to have something where everybody just wants to resell the thing. There needs to be some end user for there to be an actual value that can be placed on that product. Because something that just everybody just wants to resell and nobody actually wants, the value of that is effectively zero. And it's just going to take some time for the market to correct. And so, if someone's trying to get you into a scheme where it sure seems like there's no demand for the product other than with people who are either hoping to resell it or with people who are hoping to earn points to maintain their rank in their MLM, that's a red flag. You should always feel confident dismissing that, okay? There's no way to hand wave away having actual customers. A product needs to have actual non-reseller demand. Like, it just does. That's just a fact. That's a fact of economics. That's just how it works. And if that's not the case, then the value of that thing is going to collapse, and it's a matter of when, not if. And so, notice how in this game, the first thing they're talking about here is how it will earn you money, how it will gain value over time. So clearly, the only reason people want to buy into this game is because they think that they can resell the thing to someone else later, okay? Right. Which is fitting with the rest of NFTs, because NFTs have no end user. All it is people hoping to resell them because it doesn't have any intrinsic value. It's not useful. It doesn't give you social status. It doesn't do anything. Okay. And nobody wants them except for people who want to resell them. And, and there are only two types of people who buy NFTs. There are people who either don't understand what they're buying and they think that it gets them access or ownership of or some type of rights to a piece of content that has been associated with the NFT, which is not how NFTs work and it's not what NFTs do. Or it's people who want to resell the NFT and they're speculating on the value of it. That's it. There's no end user. So NFTs, they're always a scam. I'm sorry, if there's NFTs involved, it's a scam. So let's go through the statement of facts here. He goes through how he became a, quote, globally recognized entertainer, athlete, and entrepreneur, and how he was on the video sharing app Vine, amassed not just thousands, but millions, bold italics, of followers and fans. So good for you. Brands start working with him, etc., etc. Then in 2015, at a time when terms like content creator and influencer had barely entered the public consciousness, Paul decided to take a giant leap of faith and become a pioneer in the burgeoning digital entertainment market. He left Ohio University after his freshman year and moved into a Los Angeles apartment with like-minded creatives. Really? And also, whatever. Same time that I was moving into LA for the second time. Neither of those times was for content creation or anything, but I don't know. Sucks that I was there at the same time. He probably had some fancy place that he lived in, whereas I lived at Hollywood and Western. So it's very weird how he's talking himself up here. I don't know. It comes off pretty weird in this document. I don't know how it's super relevant, but whatever. I think it's interesting that he includes this. During this time, Paul also expanded his reach outside of digital media by securing acting roles in the more traditional entertainment industry, including guest starring roles on Law & Order SVU and Disney's Bizaardvark. I don't know that I would mention the SVU thing, but apparently he's quite proud of that. Go figure. Here's an example of what I was talking about. This entire page is talking about the whole Aokigahara forest thing, right? The entire page. Really? You really want to bring that up? Here's the problem. First of all, the problem with this concept to begin with, given its reputation as a common site for suicides, was rumored to be haunted. So they wanted to go for the haunting, right? Okay, but here's the problem with this idea, is that suicides are real. It's something that a real person does, and ghosts are not real. And No, I don't have time. I don't have time for people who are going to tell me that like ghosts are real. Like I just don't, I don't have time. Like I'm not engaging with that. Like, get real, stop wasting my time. And his aim was to produce a spooky yet lighthearted episode of The Ghost Exploring. So here's the thing. Again, even before they found the body, this idea sucked. And then obviously, finding the body and everything. And like, this is, I don't understand why is this here? Why are you bragging about this? It's very weird. This talks about becoming a professional wrestler. Paul has since credited the controversial Japan episode with helping him to reset and become a better person. And then again, like he's got a whole like other thing about this. Like it's weird to brag about your apology for a really bad thing that you did. It's so weird. It's like he thinks this makes him like better. Like, there's people who didn't film the body of a suicide victim in a forest. And then up here is people who did that and then apologized for it. Like, like the worst would be if you didn't apologize. And then there's not having done it at all. And then having done it and apologize for it. Like that's becoming a better person, apparently. Like, what the fuck? Like, and why is this here? How is this relevant? It goes on and it describes NFTs and the game that he wanted to create. It says here, understanding that he did not possess the technical expertise, relevant experience, or time necessary to turn his vision into a reality, Paul and his management team worked to assemble a team of experts in the digital asset market and game development to help bring the concept to life. To that end, in early 2021, Paul's management team evaluated potential candidates from within Paul's social and professional networks and identified Jake Greenbaum and Eddie. I'm going to pronounce this the Spanish way and not the way that the Japanese guitar maker pronounces it. I'm going to go with Ibanez. Eddie Ibanez as qualified candidates, and both agreed to join the project. The people you hire are your responsibility. You understand that, right? Like, you can't just hire shitty people and then be like, whoopsie, I guess I hired shitty people. Like, it's still your responsibility. You're still the one who had the idea. You're still the one who promoted it. You're still the one who picked these people without vetting them. Here's a key paragraph. I want you to remember this for later because it's going to circle back around. We're going to compare this with what it says later. Take this paragraph and put it in your back pocket. Ready? Ibanez, who claimed to have attended MIT, to have worked for various government agencies and professional sports teams, and to have created his own successful marketing and analytics firm, was responsible for leading the game's development efforts. Okay? Store that away. Look, everybody knew that NFTs were a scam at this point. Everybody knew that these things had no actual value. They had no end user because it's just people buying them because they think they will be able to find a bigger fool to pass it off to before it drops in value. That's all it is. It's either people who didn't understand what they were buying or people who knew it was a scam and they just figured they'd be able to find a bigger fool. It's a chain of bigger fools. That's all it is. And also, the fact that he just believed Ibanez about all that shit. Okay. He complains about having $220,000 in out-of-pocket expenses, most of which went to paying artists. Don't you hate when you have to pay artists? Damn it. Unbeknownst to Paul, however, Greenbaum and Ibanez were con artists. Both men lied about their resumes, knowledge, experience, and intentions. And you didn't vet them, apparently, because that would have been really easy to check. And, it might be a good idea when someone is touting some pretty lofty qualifications to do a quick search, do a quick background check before you hand over the keys that will allow them to access tens of millions of dollars worth of stuff. We're not talking about a few $100 here. So maybe include that in your budget next time to do a background check because there's a lot of money involved. Maybe check. It's NFTs. And everybody knew at that time that it was all shady. It was all a scam. So you're going to have some pretty bad actors in the mix here. You would do well to do a lot more due diligence than this when someone is telling you, oh, all these qualifications here. But apparently you didn't. You just went ahead, took them on, and you promoted it. So I don't know. And also, let's be real here. What you're upset about is not the fact that they were con artists. You're upset that they were better con artists than you. And they were able to cash it out before you got a chance. That's all. That's all it is. Greenbaum and Ibanez sabotaged the project from within and prevented it from ever realizing Paul's vision. Yeah, Paul's vision was probably cashing out of it, but whatever. Following the launch of the Zoo token in June of 2021, and leading up to the launch of the egg NFTs.
Work so hard to get things in on time, but I can't do that if you and Mackenzie...
In early September 2021, both Greenbaum and Ibanez separately earned themselves millions of dollars through the surreptitious sale of Zoo tokens conducted behind the backs of Paul and other honest members of the Crypto Zoo team. Honest. Okay, sure, if you say so. Then shit starts hitting the fan, etc., etc. Ibanez is misleading Paul about the progress of the game. Logan announces the game on the podcast in August of 2021. And as a result, when the egg NFTs...
Oh my God.
were released for sale on September 3rd of 2021, the first step of what was supposed to be a multi-step rollout of the game, the sale experienced significant technical issues and delays that signaled to Paul for the first time that he had been misled. Really? That was the first time? That was your first sign that anything was wrong? Really? Okay, well, I'm sorry, but either you are lying or you're extremely, extremely gullible, okay? And then he goes on and it says, far from profiting from, participating in, or even acquiescing to the deceptive conduct and ineptitude of Greenbaum and Ibanez, Paul did everything in his power to get the project back on track. Did you really? With regard to Greenbaum, Paul took steps to remove him from the project altogether in August of 2021, once he learned of Greenbaum's surreptitious and unapproved sales of Zoo tokens, even going as far as launching a new Zoo token and blacklisting all wallets associated with Greenbaum. Let's be real though, like you're just mad that because these guys cashed out, you didn't get to. That's it, okay? You've got the cookie jar stuck on your hand, right? And you're like, no, I wasn't going to steal the cookies. There aren't even any cookies in here. Someone got them before me. Guess they're better at it than you are. And all of this, all of these delays and everything, all these delays and stuff led to Paul writing to his team on September 30th of 2021, quote, absolutely fucking ridiculous. Okay, first of all, if my boss swore at me like that, I'd be so out of there. Like, bye. You're not going to swear at me. All of this, I'm baffled. Everyone will be publicly held accountable for any errors, blunders, or missteps or betrayals that took place for this project. I'm not sure there's a worse feeling than putting your trust in a team that continually fails in the biggest way possible. Oh my God, like, okay, you're an idiot. Do you not see what's going on here? Like, they're not failing. They're doing exactly what they set out to do. I'm sorry, did you miss the part where they said that they earned themselves millions of dollars? So, you may want to see if they consider a failure what you consider to be a failure. Because it seems like from their perspective, it went really, really well. Near the end of 2022, so this is like before the Coffeezilla videos, Paul emailed his manager and expressed a desire to do whatever we can to make this right with those who had believed in CryptoZoo. He said, I'm still unsure of what happened internally or with the Ibanez character, but I want to make sure we're doing as much due diligence as we can for the holders. What are you talking about? I think it is obvious what happened with the Ibanez character. You got fleeced, baby boo. And by promoting this, your followers got fleeced too. Although they would have got fleeced by you if you had gotten a chance, but I guess you got beaten to the punch, didn't you? You did. Due diligence is supposed to happen before you do something, Okay, due diligence would have been you doing a background check on Greenbaum and Ibanez before you hired them on to create this thing that would allow them to control assets worth millions of dollars. Okay, that would have been due diligence. This is not due diligence. Due diligence happens before you make a deal. So just wanted to clear that up there. And then he goes on to say, unlike Ibanez or Greenbaum, Paul never sold a single Zoo token or NFT or made any profit whatsoever from the game. To the contrary, Paul lost hundreds of thousands of dollars because of Ibanez and Greenbaum's incompetence and deception. It wasn't incompetence, it was just deception. Do you understand that? Like, apparently not. Oh boy. Like, yeah, that's why they kept it a secret. What an idiot. You're so naive. You're so gullible. You're so gullible. All right. And then now it's about to switch over to talking about Coffeezilla. Ready? Coffeezilla perceived an opportunity to increase his viewership and profile and enrich himself in the process by distorting the public narrative to falsely portray the saga of CryptoZoo as a scam perpetrated by Paul. Okay. Any large influencers out there who are watching, which I'm sure you're not, but just in case, this genre of line of reasoning needs to stop. Stop it. This whole, they're just doing this to get clicks off my name, and therefore what they're saying is false. Okay. This line of reasoning sucks for several reasons. Number one, okay, it's fallacious because it's a non sequitur. Like, it does not follow that because someone wants to increase their view count, therefore what they're saying is false. Like, the premise does not lead to the conclusion. The conclusion does not follow. Because guess what? Every YouTuber is trying to increase their view count. Like, that's how this works. And like, that's just journalism too. Okay? Journalists don't write about shit that people don't give a fuck about. They write about what people are going to be interested in. Because if you're not writing about what people are interested in, then you're not going to have a journalism job for very long. Because no one's going to be purchasing or seeing ads on your content or whatever. No advertisers are going to want to put their ads there because no one's looking at your shit. Like, it has to be stuff people are interested in. This line of reasoning is so stupid. It's so stupid. And number three, it's arrogant as fuck. And it's stupidly arrogant because it draws attention to the fact that you are punching down. It draws attention to the fact that you are attacking someone who has a smaller following and presumably fewer resources than you do. You're calling attention to the fact that you're Goliath, getting real upset at these stones coming at you. It's already bad enough when you are the bigger influencer not being the bigger person. That's bad enough as is. But when you trot this line of reasoning out, it just draws a big circle around that fact. Like, why would you call attention to that? Okay? So stop. Like, when you feel yourself about to use this line of reasoning, stop. Just don't do it. Stop talking. It's terrible. It's so stupid. It doesn't work. It's fallacious, and it just doesn't make any sense. Okay? Don't do it. Like, think for a second. Jesus, God almighty. I thought this sentence here was interesting. Now he's talking about Coffeezilla's history, sort of, like how his channel grew and everything. Here he says about Coffeezilla's investigation of the Save the Kids token thing. It was a crypto scam. And they say here, as the New Yorker magazine put it, the Save the Kids series marked his transition from a snarky YouTube critic to something more akin to an investigative journalist. Well then, Logan, it sounds like he's not just a self-described investigative journalist. The New Yorker just described him that way, so it's more than just himself, isn't it? Jesus. Also, circling back to that bigger influencer thing. Number 4, this is just part of kind of being that big of a widely known influencer. People are going to talk about you because like your stuff's irrelevant to a lot of people, right? Because you have a lot of subscribers. So, you know, maybe just get over the fact that sometimes people are going to talk about you and realize that it's probably just part of the territory of being a, quote, globally recognized entertainer. Okay? That's how it is. Good Lord. Stop. It talks about how Coffeezilla made a video about the Dink Doink token. And it says that, quote, he alleged that Paul promoted the token and concealed his involvement in its creation for the purpose of enriching himself in an eventual sell-off. That's true. That is factually true, bruh. But he says here, there was no truth whatsoever to Coffeezilla's allegations of bad intent. Paul's trading activity involving the token, which was not discussed at all in the video, was limited, and although Paul was allocated Dink Doink tokens by its founder, he never sold these tokens. They sit in his digital wallet to this day. That's false. That's false. That is a lie. There is proof that a wallet that was associated with both Dink Doink and CryptoZoo sent your public wallet $100,000 worth of shit. Like, it's you, because you're the common denominator here, because this wallet got tokens from Dink Doink and CryptoZoo both before they were publicly available. And you're the only one that is in both projects. So how could this happen unless that wallet is yours? And why would it send you $100,000 worth of tokens if it's not yours? Right? And guess what? What was the rest of the transactions out of that wallet? They went to mixers and tumblers to launder the cryptocurrency going in and out of it because you didn't want people to know. You didn't want people to find out, but you didn't cover your tracks on all of them, did you? You didn't. And that's how we know. So that right there, that is an outright falsehood. That is completely false. He is lying here. That is an outright lie. Stop lying. You like the blockchain so much, guess you don't like it now. It actually goes into talking about the average per view compensation rate for YouTube, like to calculate it out and show how much Coffeezilla is making off of these videos. Yeah, he should make unpopular videos. If you make a popular video, it's false. Do you remember that little sentence that I had you put in your back pocket? Okay, let's take that out again, all right? Here, it recounts how Coffeezilla talks about Ibanez in the video, all right? And it's interesting how this differs from the description earlier in this document, okay? Ready? After delving into Ibanez's history of deception, which included falsely claiming to be an orphan, lying about attending MIT, lying about working with the CIA, and lying about having helped the Philadelphia Eagles win a Super Bowl. Oh my God. I can see why they didn't use that terminology earlier in the lawsuit, because it makes Logan Paul sound like a fucking idiot who was born yesterday. Imagine hearing all of that as someone's qualifications and not even being suspicious, like not vetting them at all whatsoever. Like that would have been a Google search away, dude. You really shouldn't have included that specific terminology at this point or at any point in here, because it makes you sound like a fucking moron. And so it keeps re-explaining here that Coffeezilla keeps calling it Logan Paul's scam, etc., and saying that he scammed his viewers out of, cumulatively millions of dollars. And then it keeps refuting that, saying, oh, but it wasn't Logan Paul, it was Greenbaum and Ibanez, who it specifically points out here. Greenbaum netted $6 million from the Zoo tokens, and Ibanez got away with $1.7 million. Here's the thing about all of this, though. The only reason that Logan Paul didn't get anything out of this is because Greenbaum and Ibanez got it first. All right? What, you think he was just going to leave that 7.1 million just sitting in there. I don't have time for someone who's going to tell me that that wasn't exactly what he planned to do. I just don't. That's not how human nature works. Okay? Like, there are things about the world that I know to be true, and it is that is exactly what he planned to do, but was prevented from doing so because Greenbaum and Ibanez got the cookies first. And that's what happens when you allow people that you haven't vetted or background checked to access $7.1 million worth of assets. Like, what did you think was going to happen? I don't want to know. It reiterates that Paul and his manager never sold the Zoo tokens. It also points out that Coffeezilla said that that Coffeezilla included that in the video, that Logan Paul didn't get anything out of it. So, like, what's false here? What is slanderous here? I don't get it. And then he argues that Coffeezilla then asserted that Paul is nevertheless not innocent in all this because he was the face of CryptoZoo and ultimately failed to deliver a viable game. That's true. That's true. If it weren't for Logan Paul's like PR and announcing it to his fans and having, you know, such a big fan base who really support him and trust him, this wouldn't have happened. The only way that this happens is with Logan Paul's public audience. Like, he was pretty much the linchpin in this, and just because they were scammed, they rug pulled the scam before Logan Paul got a chance to, doesn't make it any less of a scam and doesn't make it any less of Logan Paul's responsibility. It was all your idea, and you hired these people, you didn't vet them, and that's why this happened. Jesus, you don't have your scam does not have to be successful for it to be a scam, okay? MLM Huns fail all the time, MLMs fail all the time, and guess what? What they're doing is still a scam, even if it's not successful. Like, I don't know what just because you didn't get any of the money doesn't mean that your audience didn't still lose money, because they did. Jesus Christ. Ugh. And I don't have time for this argument that all he was trying to do was create a fun blockchain-based game for participants to enjoy with a like-minded community. Oh my God. Like, bullshit. You thought you were going to get rich off of it. Well, you're already rich, but you thought you were going to get richer. Bullshit, okay? Bullshit. Don't come at me with this, oh, we just wanted a game. Don't. Ugh. Makes me so mad. Especially when, like, we know he's lying about these cash outs. Come on. Like, we have the investigation. All right, and here's another like refutation sort of. When Paul learned that someone was taking advantage of the public announcement to sell tokens in violation of the trading rules, he was livid and immediately texted his co-founders to remind them, your tokens do not leave your wallet. This is a game, not a shit coin. And as of now, the coin went up because I said something about it. So when someone else is capitalizing on it and jeopardizing the integrity of a very honest and very legitimate product, who do you think takes the blame publicly? Do you see? He's not mad about what's happening. He's mad that he's not getting the benefit of it when he was the one who promoted it. So you're trying to have it both ways. You're trying to say, oh, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. But you are also pointing out that the most important part of this is the fact that you announced it, right? The coin went up because I said something about it. So you are aware that the large part of the responsibility for this inflation of the price of the coin was because of your announcement. Without your announcement, without your large following, this would be impossible, right? Right. So it's your responsibility and it is your scam and you need to take ownership of it. Like, you can't just try to have it both ways. You can't say, oh, it's not my fault, but then we have you here taking full responsibility for it when you're trying to say that you should get the profits from it and not these two people. Also, like, that's pretty shady. Why didn't you fire them right away? Jesus Christ. Just an idiot. But he further objects to Coffeezilla calling it Logan Paul's scam. It was your scam. You owned it. It was the only way it could happen. Come on. You have to take more responsibility. You have to do more looking into things. And if you don't understand something, especially in a shady ass market like NFTs, then don't do it. But you did anyway. You did it anyway. On January 13th of 2023, Paul announced an initiative whereby he pledged up to $1.3 million of personal funds to buy back all of the base egg and base animal NFTs from disappointed holders. Paul made this pledge even though he was not the recipient of any of the funds used to purchase the NFTs in the first place and had not profited in any way from the project. Oh, no. You don't get to have it both ways. If it's so not your fault, if it's not your scam and it's just not your fault and it's not your responsibility, why are you doing a buyback in the first place? Huh? Why? Doesn't make any sense. Why are you pledging $1.3 million of personal funds if it's completely just totally not your responsibility and it's not your scam? That doesn't make any sense. You can't have it both ways. Well, I guess you're trying though. So is it your fault or is it not? And then he gets annoyed again here. In the summer of 2023, presumably for more clicks. That's all YouTube videos are presumably for more clicks, dude. Coffeezilla began attacking Paul again. While the nominal impetus for his renewed attention was the supposed slow pace of Paul's buyback efforts. Why is it taking so long? And then he goes on to get upset about a tweet that Coffeezilla made, which said, Logan Paul really is the type of dude to thank you when you expose his scam, then block you when you remind him to pay up. And then it shows that Logan Paul blocked Coffeezilla. This is so petty. To date, Coffeezilla's June 29th, 2023 tweet has been viewed more than 6.5 million times, and the comments on the post are universally negative toward Paul and accepting of Coffeezilla's claim that Paul had scammed those who bought crypto zoo egg NFTs or zoo tokens. Number one, that is true. Number two, okay, so you're not responsible for what Greenbaum and Ibanez did, but Coffeezilla is responsible for the comments that you're getting? Like, what? What the fuck? Oh my God. He goes to call specific things. For example, commenters called Paul evil, accused him of grift and exploiting people, accused him of operating a scam, and labeled him a scumdog millionaire. Oh, that's a good one. I love that. What are you saying? Like, are you saying that that Coffeezilla is responsible for what people are tweeting? What? Okay. And then it goes on to continue getting angry about a video that Coffeezilla posted the next day saying Logan Paul's scam isn't over. It is your scam. Take ownership of it. If it's not your scam, why are you paying $1.3 million for a buyback? Huh? Why? You're trying to have it both ways. Stop it. Ugh. To date, Coffeezilla's June 30th, 2023 YouTube video has been viewed nearly 6 million times. And once again, commenters who viewed the video were universally negative toward Paul and accepting of Coffeezilla's claim that Paul had committed financial fraud. Isn't this weird? Isn't this weird? On January 4th, 2024, Paul officially announced on Twitter that his Crypto Zoo Egg and NFT buyback program was operational. So it took you like a friggin' year. He posted a link to a website where holders could submit a claim for a buyback, with Paul committing up to $2.3 million of his own money to the effort. Why are you paying out $2.3 million to something that's not your fault and is not your responsibility? And then he gets upset about a video that Coffeezilla posted after that about how the refund is only happening if you don't sue Logan Paul, which is true. That is true. And he's mad that Coffeezilla ridiculed Paul's buyback efforts by saying that Logan Paul is not a hero for doing this or making things right. He's a serial scammer who's offering a minority refund as a last-ditch effort to save his wallet and his reputation. That's accurate. That is 100% accurate. That is accurate. And then once again, he is angry at the commenters. For example, commenters called Paul dishonest and a scumbag who needs jail time, labeled him a sociopath, accused him of fraud, and called him the guy who scammed his fans. Number one, all of those descriptions are completely accurate. And how are those Coffeezilla's responsibility? Good Lord. Goes on to say that Coffeezilla knew it wasn't true. I don't see how any of this is not true. And then allegedly, Coffeezilla continued perpetuating his false narrative that Paul is a scammer, blissfully ignoring the many instances in which the claims excerpted from communications that quite clearly showed Paul was not a participant in any supposed scam. Yes, you were. Were you not paying attention? Also, I would never describe Coffeezilla as blissful. That is one word I would not use to describe him. Between January 4th, 2024 and February 8th, 2024, the buyback program received claims covering about a third of the total crypto zoo NFTs that were purchased. At the set buyback price of 0.1 Ethereum each, Paul personally committed a total of 295.6 Ethereum to the effort. Wait, what? The funds were officially dispersed March 25th, 2024. Given Ethereum's exchange rate that day, Paul was ultimately able to disperse over $1 million of his own money. What are you talking about? That's not $1 million. That is Ethereum. I would not consider cryptocurrency to be an acceptable compensation format for this. You like if that is an acceptable way to do a buyback, then how come you haven't been saying Ethereum the whole time? How come you've always phrased it in terms of dollars? Is that because dollars are a real buyback and you know that Ethereum sounds like a cop-out to avoid paying real money? Because it seems like, you know, if it's you know the same, which is what I would say the justification would be, then why not say Ethereum the whole time? And then he calls the buyback an enormous success. You only bought back 1/3. It bears repeating that Paul never received any funds from the purchases of egg NFTs in the first place. So the funds he dispersed as part of the buyback were not a refund, but rather came from Paul's own assets.
It's your fault that this happened. It's your fault that this happened. It's your fault that this happened. It's your fault that this happened.
Nobody cares. It's still your fault that these losses happened. These losses happened from something that was your idea, that was perpetrated by people that you hired without vetting them at all in a shady, you know, scammy thing. If there are NFTs involved, it is a scam 100%, 100% of the time. Okay. It is like, and nobody cares, dude. It's still your fault that people lost this money. It's not anyone's fault but your own. If it weren't for you, this wouldn't have happened. So no one cares whether you actually got the profits or not, Logan. Stop it. Jesus Christ. And no, your buyback program was not a success. You're on glue. You are on glue. And then he brings back up the suicide forest thing again. Like, what are you doing? And I would just say he's clearly trying to have it both ways here. And he's trying to say it's not his responsibility, but then he's also doing this buyback because people clearly think it is his responsibility, and clearly he does too, or else why would you do that? Why would you do that in the first place? Right. So like, just because you didn't get the money doesn't make it not a scam. It was a scam. You just got rug pulled before you could do it to your audience, right? As a result of the June 29th tweet from Coffeezilla, Paul has suffered damages including injury to reputation, embarrassment, humiliation, emotional distress, and economic damages in an amount to be determined at trial. Good Lord. You are a child. You are a child. You are a child. And then he wants the same, an amount to be determined at trial for the same reasons as a result of the June 30th, 2023 YouTube video. And then for the January 5th, 2024 YouTube video, he wants an amount to be determined at trial. Can it be in Ethereum, or do you only want dollars? So what he's asking for, though, is actual and compensatory damages in excess of $75,000, as well as interest, reasonable attorney's fees, and costs as allowed by law, punitive damages, and whatever the court deems appropriate. So if this is brought to the court of Bizarro World and therefore gets the ruling, I'm going to recommend that instead of the $75,000, they should give him 24.16 Ethereum, because that's the same, you guys. This is some bullshit, okay? This is punching down. This is disgusting.
You drive me crazy. You drive me crazy. You drive me crazy. You drive me crazy.
This is so petty, and it makes you look so terrible, Logan Paul. Jesus Christ. Like, I didn't think he could get any worse, but apparently he can. So He's our piece of shit king, I guess. You need to get over it, and you need to stop scamming people, Mr. Paul. Like, stop with this noise, and every influencer needs to stop with this angle, okay? My God. I'm so disgusted by this, and I hope it gets, it doesn't seem like Coffeezilla is terribly concerned about it. So, hopefully he's doing all right. All right, everybody. I've been Mac. Peace out.
Hasta la vista, baby.
You don't understand.